Hey guys, big news. We actually sold out our show this Friday at 7:30 p.m. in Queens, but I talked to the venue and we were able to make 6 more seats. That's right, we did some Tetrising, moved some chairs around. You can buy those tickets at bit.ly/AITA, capital Q, capital E, capital D. Link is in the description. Also, some of you were interested in watching a live stream. Guess what? We're live streaming it, baby. Be on the lookout for the link. We'll be posting that everywhere, such as our website, Twitter, etc. We'll see you Friday. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Am I the Asshole podcast. I'm Danny Vega, joined today by my lovely, lovable co-host, a 2L of different kinds. Normally, that's for law school folks, but this is a master's student, a queen of memes. You probably know her. You probably love her, folks. Sarah Levine. Sarah, how are you today?
Oh, that was fun. I enjoyed that intro.
Good. I'm happy you did. You know, we're in a different vibe this week. We kind of had some tumultuousness. We're recording this very early on Valentine's Day, which is kind of interesting.
A nice romantic day for us both.
Right? I got nothing planned except this girl on Hinge. This is interesting. We've had very few exchanges. We've maybe exchanged 5 to 10 messages. She just texted me Happy Valentine's Day. So I ha-ha'd her and so we've just been joking back and forth. She was like, I'm just kidding. And I was like, Are you kidding? Like, what's the joke exactly here? But anyway, that is the extent of what I have going on, people.
That's funny. I celebrated Valentine's Day over the weekend. So I felt like today, Ryan and I were just like, whatever. So
Nice.
we went to we've become big on like a staycation. And we book a staycation at a hotel that has a rooftop bar. That's been our kind of trend so far.
Love
and it worked out
it.
really well because Saturday was randomly 60 degrees in New York. It was so nice. And then Sunday it snowed.
That's crazy. That's some climate change shit right there.
Fucked up. So,
there's no way that's like, there's no way.
And then
that's
today it was
normal.
like 19 degrees. Like I went on a run and that was stupid. It felt like the real feel was 1 degree, like literally a single degree.
Once you get under 30, unless you're running directly in the sun, that shit's rough.
I will say, so I ran basically just to my workout class because it like takes almost as much time as if I were to take the subway, but less stress and I can control it.
Sure.
But that's a personal problem for me. But it hurt my face at times, like I got a headache. But when the wind wasn't blowing, it really didn't feel any different than like 30 degrees to me.
Oh, nice. Well, it sounds like you had a pleasant run.
It was decent. I was like running on the streets, obviously, so I had to like dodge a million people. And they were probably like, what is this crazy bitch doing? But I was like, out of my way. Well,
I'm happy that you're still, getting your runs in despite the freezing cold. That takes bravery.
Tough. It's tough. I did have to like I had to like buy a gym membership because I was just like, I reasonably run when it's like sub freezing.
Right.
And I don't want to keep like jumping in my apartment because my downstairs neighbors haven't said anything, but I'm kind of like, I don't want to push it.
Well, that's polite of you. That's thoughtful. You shouldn't try to push those folks to their brink. Probably not a good idea.
I learned that the hard way. I still think about those people and fuck them. So whatever.
Well, at least you're, erring on the side of kindness. I was actually thinking about this. I had to do a lot of driving this weekend to Manhattan Beach. Beautiful, by the way. Cali's starting to score some points on me here. Very walkable, very pretty.
It's
the
walkable?
weather. Yeah, they've got like nice, cute little shops. We saw this place and I was like, oh my God, this place is so cute. Like just very nice little area. So good job, Callie. You're winning. You're getting points. I can no longer hold my LA as thoroughly unwalkable narrative. I mean, this is kind of far from LA, but it's like never ending cities in Cali. It's like the East Coast. It's just like, yeah, you left New York City, but it's not like now you're in a farm. You're just in more city that's touching the edges of other pieces of land. Anyway, I was having this thought because, I drive a lot and I had to drive. And so I was thinking like kind of what you're saying, which is like, be an empathetic driver. So this is like a new thing. Like if I see someone trying to turn, like get in the lane in front of me and I don't want them to do that, I've lately just been like, why? Just let them do it. Who cares? Like I'm not in
The
a
only
rush.
thing is like, though, okay, the only thing that would annoy me was like when I would do that and let one person go, then like 6 people took it as their opportunity. And it's like, no. I'm letting one person go. I'm not letting the entire universe cut in front of me. Like,
oh no,
some people really just abuse kindness.
Right, because they'll see. Yeah, no, I hate when people do that thing like everyone's waiting in line to make a left turn and then people drive in front of the whole line and then try to merge in. And it's like, you know what you're doing? You're a monster. You missed this turn. Sorry.
No, I would not let someone do that because it's like you tried to game the system.
Yeah.
And I'm not letting you do it.
Right.
Teaching you a lesson.
Right. Well, folks, I don't think we have too much juice unless Sarah has more. I mean, I did want to just call out this great email we got about all the apologies and stuff. And thank you for all who reached out, the critics, the reflectors, the people happy to see the apology. You know, what's your phrase for this? The kickback to the kickback? Why can't I
the
remember?
Backlash to the backlash.
The backlash to the backlash. Some people even thought the apologies were too much, but you know, they were heartfelt. It's how I felt. It hit me very emotionally to receive these notes because I know it affected you guys, and that gave me a sense of responsibility, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, no, I really liked what this person said, just that like it was a good adult conversation, and I want to throw another props to you. I threw it on the bonus. I'll throw it here again and say, yeah, thank you for how you handled that, Sarah. I felt like you didn't attack me and you even apologized because it was a heated conversation. And I thought that kind of, you know, being able to see my side of the story too was very judicious of you.
Thank you. I feel like I don't deserve any credit really, but I mean, I'll take it.
Why would you not deserve credit?
I don't know. It's just like I didn't do that much, but I'll take it, you know.
Well, you know, this stuff isn't surgery, but it's still handling interpersonal conflicts well is something to be lauded.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about this on the bonus, so apologies if this is a repeat, but I feel like I don't know, this podcast has just made me like a lot less defensive when it comes to apologies, and also just made me think about like because I feel like with that situation, like there was just such a like communication breakdown where we just weren't hearing each other. And like, it's hard to have those conversations in the moment and realize it. But then honestly, right after I was kind of like, oh, I think I know what was happening. And I think that my response to like what I thought was happening sort of like fueled even more of a response, you know? Like, it's tough.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that my big takeaway was ask questions and rather than argue. And
I know that's what they say is like the best way to like engage people in all kinds of topics and like even try to like change their mind or even just open them up to other possibilities is to ask questions. I think it's hard when you're just talking about something that like matters to you, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think, you know, in your defense, it was asymmetric, right? Like I was being like, oh, it's this way for women, you know, and that's more hurtful to you than you denying me my little white male story, you know, like, so I was denying something far more significant. But I think if there's one thing we can be alert on is like, if we're pushing buttons, it's first of all, being aware that our button was pushed and that we're feeling some kind of way and just being like, whoa, I'm feeling testy about this. Can we slow it down?
Yeah.
Because I know if you had said something like that, that would have changed my mindset and I would have been like, whoa, cool your jets. You know, it's time to listen.
Yeah, I know. But we were both like, nope, it's full steam ahead.
Yeah, we got heated. And I mean, look, we were debating, which is kind of a big thing in the pod.
I think it's the point of the pod in a sense.
Yeah, but it got personal and it got weird. And so whatever, we digested it. It happens. We're humans. And, you know, we humaned it up. I humaned it up.
Did great.
I'm proud of us. And I hope, you know, these conversations are helpful for you guys as we all learn how to manage conflicts in our life. They're out there, part of life, you know?
Facts.
All right, folks. Well, without further ado, by the way, I'll tell you, if you are a wordler, I know many of you are.
Wait, I just started like yesterday.
I don't even know what to say to that, Sarah.
I'm
feeling testy about this. I'm just kidding.
Oh no. I don't know. I was just like, at first I was like, I don't know what this is. And then it was like, I don't need to join it. It's going to die down. And then Ryan was just like, you know, you should really play this. Like, I think you're going to like it. And I was like, all right, fine. And I mean, he was right. I love doing those like word scrambles. And this is kind of that.
Yeah. I think it's a great game. I think a really good game, a mark of a really great game is it's hard enough to be be interesting, but
Yeah.
easy enough to feel like you're always advancing. And I think that's why Wordle is so addicting. Plus the one a day nature also makes it so you can't like, inject
Binge
it into
it.
your veins. It's just once a day.
Exactly. I think that's my
wonderful.
problem is like when I like something, I just literally, inject it, like mainline it, and it's just okay.
Yeah,
Then I get
exactly.
burnt out on it. And we really can't get burnt out unless the New York Times puts ads on it.
Right.
But
Right.
it's a
We'll
fun
see what
game.
they do.
We'll see if
Yeah.
I think it's fun if I don't guess the word.
Yep, let's not be cynics about it. Some people
Ah,
know what I'm talking about. Some of you might have an
yeah.
ultra ulcer. I don't know. Sarah doesn't get that because she's new to the Wordle game, but
Yes,
some
it's
of
true.
you do, and that's all that matters. I like to open bagel. I just think it can be fun. I know B isn't a really great
Oh,
letter.
that's your first word?
Sometimes I'll just be like,
Huh.
why don't we just open bagel and see what happens? Let the cards fall where they may. It's not great from a probabilistic standpoint because
Yeah.
B is such a waste. B.
Yeah, and G and L are like,
Pretty
yeah.
It's not a
I
great
like to
opener.
do the Wheel of Fortune strategy where I get like STR and then as many vowels as I can.
Okay.
It did not work out for me today at all. So.
Yeah, rates. Rates is another opener I've heard. Rates is pretty good.
I've heard of that. I did maybe I did like rated or something. I don't know. I forget, but
Our sponsor today, the New York Times. I'm just
I
kidding.
wish.
I know, right? That'd be cool.
That would be so funny if the Times sponsored us and then we had like a little war with the New York Times ethicist.
That's what I was going to say. They can't sponsor us because we always bag on the ethicist. We're like, here's where the ethicist is wrong.
Yeah, I don't know, because I just feel like it'll be like, am I the asshole for like not liking the engagement ring my fiance got me? And then the ethicist will be like, well, the ethics of the modern diamond trade or blah, blah. And we're like, no, like that wasn't the situation. He just got her an ugly ring.
Right.
Or whatever.
Right. You really went off there, ethicist.
Yeah. I feel like he does that a lot. Or is it she? I don't know who it is.
I think a lot of these columns switch or they're like ghost written.
I could see that.
They're not necessarily tied to one individual. Anyway, let us do a little bit of guess the verdict. AITA for not giving my dad's GF my change.
Change.
Yes. Is this Obama change? Is it coinage?
I'm like,
what kind of change is it?
I think
folks?
this is an NTA.
Really?
Yep.
NTA is correct.
Ha! You tried
Well
to
done.
trick me there.
Well done. Basically, it's kind of a weird story. These people are pissing me off. OP is a 17-year-old male, and he went to the store with dad's girlfriend, Tessa, and basically Tessa's daughter had some change from her little purchase, some kind of toy or something, probably like a Wordle stuffed animal, and stupid. I don't know. I'm just
man.
a Wordle pillow, and somebody should make this. Somebody should make Wordle
Love
merch.
it.
I'd be all in.
Oh wait, yeah.
Call me Chugi. I want a Wordle pillow.
You could
on
get like
my
a good necklace. I could
couch.
get bagel on a Wordle board for you.
Thank you. So then OP goes to buy his thing, and the mom, Tessa's like, can I have your change? And he's like, no, I keep my
No.
change. This is my hard-earned money. And she's like, well, I need it for I need the quarters for laundry. And so that dad was like, that was really stingy of you not to give your change. She needs quarters. And it's like, what? Can she
She's
not?
an adult.
Can you figure out another source for your quarters, lady? B quintuple E. There's 6 E's. B. Right? NTA. It's weird for an adult to be asking a child for money. And even weirder that she's harping on it so much. If your dad is concerned about her laundry situation, why doesn't he let her do it at his house? Oh, I actually realized that's not even the verdict comment. Well, whatever. You guys get it.
That's weird. All right. AITA for blowing up at my wife for going to her gender reveal appointment without me.
Oh, I actually saw this and did not click it. And
Yes.
I'm going by my memory. My memory says YTA. Say the title again and I'll try to play it as it lays.
AITA for blowing up at my wife for going to her gender reveal appointment without me.
Actually, no, that does feel like a violation because, yeah, that's something you would do as a couple, I would hope. I mean, come on. Did she not schedule it with him in mind? YTA.
OP's the asshole?
Yeah.
And you are right. So basically.
Oh, wait, no, I'm not right. I didn't say.
I know,
I
that's
got
why
confused.
question you.
I got it right for the
reasoning-
wrong reason. I got it right for the wrong
Exactly.
reason.
I should have pushed you a little harder.
Criminal.
But that's okay.
Oh, you missed that. You missed that.
Give it to you. But basically, OP and his wife, they have this appointment where they find out the gender of the baby. And OP writes, unfortunately, the day of the doctor's appointment, I had to attend my friend's birthday that I remembered last minute. And that's basically it. I mean, you don't need to know more about that.
And then the wife still went without, yeah.
Yeah, obviously, because he was like, move the appointment. And she was like, no.
Yeah.
So the top comment was, you asked your wife to reschedule the gender reveal appointment because you wanted to go to a birthday party. Your wife gives a valid reason for not rescheduling, and you called her selfish because you wanted to go to a birthday party. Anyway, it goes on with the birthday party refrain, but the end of the comment is, I feel bad for your wife, YTA.
Fair enough. AITA for refusing my wife's request to hurl in the toilet.
I mean, who can control it when they're gonna puke?
Very tough. Very tough to control.
But refusing the request...
That's right.
You can't just say, I'll try.
Refusing my wife's request to hurl in the toilet. Mm-hmm.
But I think she's only thinking of it as a refusal. I'm gonna go, maybe he has some kind of like bowel issue. I'm gonna just say NTA again. NTA
is wrong. So I was confused on your analysis. What did you hurl? Why did you say bowel issue? Because they didn't want to hurl.
Or whatever, like a issue where
Stomach
you
issue.
vomit uncontrollably. I don't know.
Yeah, like a Linda Blair exorcist kind of
all
vibe.
The same system. I don't know.
Who among has not been possessed by a devil and thrown up
by a puke devil? It's happened to me.
It's happened to all of us. So all this is actually is that OP is a sink thrower upper. He prefers the sink. Wow,
God.
Sarah really hates this.
That's horrible.
And he prefers it because he doesn't want to get in the position on, worshiping the porcelain goddess, which is something I stole from like fmylife.com. Remember that site?
Yes, FML.
I read that and I was like, that's really funny, worshiping the porcelain goddess.
Love it.
But also, do we need to feminize toilets? Maybe I'll push back on that. Anyway.
I always thought they're called the John, so I would male-anize it.
Interesting.
Whatever.
Yes. Anyway, so they like to throw up in the sink, and they say that
Why are they throwing up often?
Well, then it's not often. It was just, I guess they had food poisoning and they threw up in the sink, and then wife came down on them. And I actually thought their argument was pretty good. That is easier to clean up in the sink. Actually, no. Now that I read that again, I'm not with that. It's not easier to clean up the sink. The toilet.
I feel like it's harder to get it down the drain.
Yeah, it's a one-stop shop.
And that's probably really bad for your drain.
Yeah, we don't need to get into it. But
all right.
Anyway, the top comment of this gross thing, Lil Kitten 999 writes, YTA, that's disgusting. Vomit, especially food poisoning, has chunks. Oh God, I don't even want to have read that.
That's what I'm saying.
So unless you have a garbage disposal, you're also going to have a clogged sink for your puke, and you want to keep washing dishes in that. Cleaning it doesn't get rid of the disease and bacteria-ridden mouth or the awful smell. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I kind of feel like this is like, look, he says he used Lysol to clean it up, and I was like, I think you need bleach, like something metal. That's what I love about bleach, because every time I use bleach, I'm like, this shit is so clean.
Yeah, if it can clean a dead body, you can clean your vomit.
Right? Bleach is like, it's fire. It's that fire cleaning sauce. Reminds me of middle school when they used to clean all the tables with brutal bleach, and my hands would get all chapped.
Oh my God, gross.
But anyway, yeah, so it went YTA.
I could see that. Okay. AITA for telling my brother that his and his fiance's choices for their wedding are offensive and ridiculous.
One more time?
AITA for telling my brother that his and his fiance's choices for their wedding are offensive and ridiculous.
Huh, offensive. That seems like something an asshole would say, because what kind of wedding is it? What is it, a hate speech wedding? I mean, that doesn't seem plausible to me. I feel like they did something like odd, like, I don't know, it's a wedding in a bathtub, or how weird people are getting these days. Some kind of backyard. Why would it be offensive? I can't think of a reason. I guess there could be a weird rule. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning NTA. Wait, what is it again? AITA for judging? Yeah, so I'm saying...
Telling my brother his and his fiance's choices are offensive and ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I'm saying YTA.
Aha. You are right.
Oh, I got it!
Also, I'm like, you clearly don't know anything about weddings or think about weddings, because my mind immediately, and a lot of people's immediately went to plantation wedding.
Oh God, that's
There's
so
so many
horrible.
easy ways to make a wedding offensive.
People are
you
still
know?
doing that shit? I thought that was
Yes.
like obviously a no-go.
Unfortunately not. It should be, but like, yeah, when I read this title, I was like, oh, are they having their wedding at a plantation or doing something like offensive with the dress code, like mocking a
Okay, wait,
culture?
stupid question, but isn't a plantation just a farm, or like are there's still people who call them plantations just to be assholes about it? Like I don't, am I
No, I mean,
stupid?
like, they will call themselves that.
A plantation.
Yeah, and like, they're still like the house, like, and they've turned
Uh
it into like a music, or not music, like, a lot of them are turned into events venues, but they still like,
they run with it. That's
they
the
don't
problem.
they don't obscure what it was.
Right. So they're almost
So
proud of it. Yeah, that's fucked up. Okay, I get it.
yeah, it is fucked up. So anyway, that's why when I read that thing, I was like, oh, obviously NTA, but no, in fact, OP was the asshole because basically OP's brother's getting married and their family is like very traditional and into their culture. They didn't really specify which culture it was. But the brother and their fiance like don't want these traditions to play a huge role in their wedding, and they're doing it in like small ways, and they're basically just planning like a what seems like Americanized wedding. Like they're
Hmm.
playing, I don't know, dance music and not their customs traditional music.
Sure, sure.
And so anyway, so OP is like really offended by this, and said that their choices were offensive just because they're throwing the wedding that they want to throw.
Offensive is a little bit of a dirty move because I always think like this kind of goes back to all our conflict management talk. When you throw offensive, you're actually adjectiving, right? You're saying like you did this thing and it's this. Whereas
Mhm.
if you say like I felt offended, that's very different and that feels very fair. It's like
Yeah,
you're allowed to feel offended. If that's how you really feel, that's how you feel. But saying that it is offensive
yeah.
is dirtier, right? Because then it's like,
But in this, yeah, I agree. I think in this regard, like, given what we know about the situation, like, who cares if his wedding choices are offensive to you? Like, why should that be a factor?
right.
So the top comment was YTA, and if you stop trying to push your choices on them for just a little while, this was one of the gripes of the brother, was like their wedding is gonna feel like a club. So the verdict said, YTA, if you stop trying to push your choices on them for just a little while, you might find that you can enjoy the wedding if it's like a club.
Yeah, just like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. But you know what is a big
Right.
deal? I wouldn't guess the verdict, folks.
Ah!
This might be my year. We will see. And a big shout out to all our new patrons: Mila, Caitlin, Terry, Corey, Kayla, Kieran, Katie, and Ashley, especially Kieran,
On the
who
case.
I think we might have actually filled up our executive producer slots because I only put
Yes.
8, which is incredible. Thank you so much for supporting us at $25 a month, y'all.
Thank you.
Wow, that is so generous and wonderful. But thanks to everyone who supports us. And now that hopefully most of you have forgiven me, but if you haven't, feel free to reach out. I will return to Plug City. So here we go. Sarah and
City.
I, folks, we are doing a show. Tickets, I think we only have like 10 tickets left at this point. So I would jump on
Woo.
this. We are performing 2/25. That's February 25th. That's a Friday in New York City, a little borough I like to call Queens. And I like to call it that because that's what it's called, people. It's going to be an AITA show. It's going to be everything you ever dreamed of, all the great games, some sitches, Sarah and I. It's going to be a ton of fun. 7:30 p.m. EST. That's right. We set it in New York local time. You know how confusing it is to plan my life? Really confusing, people. But not confusing for you. 7:30 p.m., February 25th. That's a Friday. You can buy tickets. Check out the link in the description, but it's also bit.ly. That's bit.ly/AITA. Capital Q, capital E, capital D. Case sensitive, bit.ly. You crazy people making your
They're the asshole for that.
bit.ly
I feel
is
like.
crazy like that. They're like,
What's gonna
fuck
happen
it.
if you do lowercase? It's
It
just
won't
gonna be a
work.
404 error.
Yeah, it'll 404 you.
Dumb.
Bit.ly, y'all are crazy for that shit. But it's bit.ly/AITA, capital Q, capital E, capital D. We will see you at the show. It's going to be an incredible time. I can't wait to meet all of you in person. And you know, we do have one heck of an ep for you today. Our second story of the day. Would I be the asshole for going to my friend's unwedding reception? Oh, you thought there couldn't be a remix on wedding situations, but people, we
found it.
We found it. But first, folks, AITA for telling my daughter to butt out of my personal life and asking her to stay with my mom. So me, 35M, and my ex-wife, Holly, 35F, have a 16-year-old named Shay. Me and Holly started dating when we were 14 and divorced 1.5 years ago. Wow, very early dating history.
Yeah.
The reason was she felt like she hasn't experienced dating since we got together so young, and she was getting curious but didn't want to step out. So I agreed to not hold her back, and we divorced. We immediately got Shay into therapy, and she handled the whole thing really well at first, already raising a flag at how they got Shay into therapy but didn't go to therapy with her. Whatever. Well, I started to date. It was weird but kind of exciting. Shay was happy for me and encouraged me to go on dates. Well, everything changed. Me and Holly spent the night together 8 months ago, and my daughter found us the next morning. She was giddy.
No!
We explained to her that we weren't getting back together, that we just have a very strong bond and are best friends, but she shouldn't have found out.
Yep, best friends who bang. Sure.
Ever since, Shay's been a nightmare. I was dating a teacher from her school, and she tried to sabotage it. Shay would show up on our dates. We track each other's location. She would constantly bring up her mom in front of the girl I was dating. She was rude to her, eventually split because she didn't want the drama. The past 8 months, Shay has been sending me pics of her and her mom in workout classes. She keeps telling me about Holly's new fitness. Holly's lost weight and she looks incredible. But I kept telling her that me and her mom are better apart right now. About 4 months ago, Holly calls me. She admitted to drinking a bottle of wine and saying some stuff to Shay. She told her the reason we split up and that she regretted it and wanted the family back together, and that she was done dating because she hated it. I sat down Shay and explained to her again my stance, that I absolutely love her and her mom, and that there was definitely a possibility of reconciliation down the line. But at this point, I was having fun. So I started to see Shay's friend's mom around this time. Oh, P.
No!
What the fuck?
I want to slap these people.
Ugh.
Except the kid.
We kept it from the girls until we thought it was real. Shay freaked. She cut off her friend. She sent my GF a lengthy Facebook message that basically said she was wasting her time, that I was in love with my ex. Wow, Shay. She knows how to manipulate this.
Yeah.
I talked to Shay about how inappropriate that was, and we got her back into therapy. I smelled it. I smelled it, people.
You sure did.
So last
you
week,
smelled it and they dealt it.
So last week, my GF was trying to get something from my house. I wasn't home. Shay was. My GF knocked on the door. Shay saw who it was and wouldn't open the door. I called her and told her to open it, and she refused. I had to run home from work to let my GF in. I was furious with Shay. I basically told her that she needed to butt out of my personal life. Oh, the irony, OP. You make me sick. And that maybe it would be best if she stayed at her mom's. We don't have a formal custody agreement for a while. Until she could accept that I was dating. She left and I called Holly. Holly thinks I'm being an asshole. AITA.
These people are like fucked up. I mean, I will say, like, number one, before we even get into the most egregious of these offenses, the way that these people treat divorce is absurd. Like, the mom is like, you know, I haven't experienced dating. They're like, okay, we'll just get divorced. And then he's like, he keeps just kind of being like, we're better off apart right now. And like, maybe down the line. It's like, that's not what divorce is supposed to be. Also, that wasn't supposed to be what marriage is supposed to be. But like, I'm pro-divorce if it's not working. But you didn't go on, like, you're divorced. Like, you're not on a break, or at least you're not supposed to be. Like, stop, like, whatever. Don't let your kid find you hooking up with your ex. Don't tell your kid, like, oh, we're better off apart right now. There's a possibility of reconciliation down the line. Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
And I feel like there are so many other avenues that they could have dated around and like not done this confusing ass thing for their kid.
Exactly. And what I sensed here right from the outset, right when we hear OP send the daughter to therapy, are you sure that she's the only one who needs therapy? Something very grave has just happened. And it's not only her, you should send her to therapy, but it's also the system, the family system has been compromised. And so maybe all three of you need therapy together. Maybe you and Shay need therapy. There needs to be a lot of therapy and conversations. And what I smelled is, in fact, what was being cooked, which is that Shay was not being prioritized. And you know, I hate to see it, people. And I thought this about OP. There was a moment reading this where I was like, oh, okay, well, OP does have a right to explore options. That's fair. However, execution is a key part of the puzzle, and you failed to execute, OP, because you let Shay see you and Holly in bed together, and that was a massive miss. And yes, sometimes a poor execution means a fuck up. That's a fuck up. You did not pull it off. This was something that would have needed to be done behind her back if you were going to go that way. And I would say you shouldn't be going that way anyway, because obviously it's going to cause problems and confusion. And who can't understand why Shay would want to make you guys happen? Of course she wants to make you happen. She's both of you.
Yeah, and also like you can't just date everyone in your daughter's social circle. Dating her teacher is massively inappropriate. Dating her friend's mom is colossally inappropriate. I'll use a different adjective to spice it up. Like, these people are just so boneheaded that I'm like, you seriously? You think this is okay to do a fucking will they, won't they with your wife?
Exactly.
And with your ex-wife, and then you also think it's okay to like use your daughter's circle as your dating pool? Like, what is, honestly, these people just have no concept of boundaries. I feel like that's why they act like this.
Absolutely. I mean, I feel OP is a chronic eating where he shits, that he can't seem to
facts.
stop. And I know sometimes we talk about thought terminating cliches, but here's another angle on cliches. Sometimes they are so fucking true, and you'll see it again and again.
This guy shits all over where he eats.
He can't stop. He can't stop, because it's like, look, first you got involved with Holly and you botched it and she saw it, which again, you shouldn't have even done that, but whatever. But the fact that you got caught is already like, you need to never. And then the teacher from her school, and then dating her friend's mother. I mean, OP. It's like you're really doing nothing to protect Shay. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Chaos, confusion, mixed signals to your daughter.
Yeah, no wonder she's trying to play Parent Trap on your asses.
Of course. And the fact that OP seems to lay this all on Shay and wants to send her to therapy, I don't see them adopting any responsibility, unable to understand or empathize with poor Shay. Very confusing for her. Doc Chloro passed, writing, you and the ex are both assholes for doing 10 months of therapy for a one-night stand. I don't necessarily agree with how that's formulated, but yeah, you and the ex are definitely both assholes for fucking up your daughter's shit and getting involved with each other, which is already inappropriate. I would lean a little harder on OP than Holly, because...
Well, she shouldn't be drinking a bottle of wine and like spilling her regrets to her daughter either.
I forgot about that detail. Yeah,
that's what I'm like, again, these people are just... Yeah, it kind of tracks that they started dating when they're 14, because they just seem super immature.
This is the rule. I will tell you, this is very, very common, because I used to transcribe psychological evaluations, and this is so common. A lot of people lose their kids, get involved with CPS, and it's because they don't want to stop partying. They don't want to stop having a whole bottle of wine on a weekday. That is very common. And so I would tell anyone who still wants to party, don't have kids. And if you do have kids, it's time to suck it up and stop partying and make your kid your priority, which is exactly what these people aren't doing.
Interesting. I wasn't even thinking about it from a partying aspect. I mean, having a whole bottle of wine by yourself when you're hanging out with your child is odd, but I was just thinking about it from like an emotional immaturity aspect. Like, they think a divorce is just like a oopsie. Like, I'm like, you got the government involved in your breakup. This is not like just put a Band-Aid on it, take it off, put it back on. Like, well, I don't know, man. What do you want? Which one is it? People do reconcile. It happens on a lot of episodes of The Real Housewives.
Wow.
But
all
it's
roads
just,
lead.
I'm telling you, multiple housewives have divorced and then reconciled with their ex-husbands. But I mean, I think they treated getting divorced very flippantly. They're now treating it very flippantly. He's treating dating as just like this freaking free-for-all. Like, these people seem to have no awareness.
I guess I'm having some pushback, because I don't really necessarily believe the problem is a lack of decorum regarding the divorce. Because like, if they were just two singles and being weird and like flirting with each other and getting kind of back.
Well, it's because they're not, and they're doing it in front of their daughter, and they're also like telling the daughter like, they're sending the daughter mixed signals, which like to me is kind of stemming from a lack of decorum of like, you need to like have parent mindset, or just like appropriate info to share mindset. And like, your flip-flopping is not appropriate info to share. Your one night stand was not good info for her to come across.
Exactly. To me, it's just all going to come back to Shay and how you guys are not prioritizing her. And instead, you're doing whatever you want to do. Well, guess what? It's not about you. And parents who do not prioritize their children are assholes. And that for me is cut and dry. And I think you have painted a picture where because she did get drunk and tell her daughter all these things, sending even more mixed messages, I think this is I still lean a little harder on OP because like dating all the moms and the teachers. I mean, it's just horrible.
I think like there's a one night fuck up I can judge a little bit less harshly than like you're choosing to be in relationships with people you know that your daughter is like close to. So what the hell?
AITA for telling my daughter to butt out of my personal life and asking her to stay with her mom. The irony, OP. You were butting into her personal life, you piece of shit. Fuck
Facts.
you.
Oh my God. Yeah.
ESH. OP, we're slightly more mad at you than Holly, but we don't like either of you. You're both unchecked and you
guys need therapy. I mean, unfortunately, she needs therapy for having parents who have no boundaries, but also you guys need therapy.
I'm with it. All right, folks, it is Valentine's Day while we're recording this, so we're going to play that up, even though when you're hearing this, it will be a week later. It's time for some assholes at the restaurant on Valentine's Day.
My God, the couple that's just making out, like, get a room.
The couple that's like, they are just like staring at each other the whole time, and like you're there with your girlfriend of like 4 years and they're like having this highly passionate intimacy and you're like, can you guys not be killing it so hard? You're making us realize that this relationship is running a little stale.
I was going to say the person eavesdropping really hard on the couple that's clearly having an argument to the point where the couple notices, but you can't stop because you want to know.
It's so exciting. I need to know what their fight is. The people, the guy at the restaurant sitting alone who's just like scrolling on his phone all angry, just getting mad at all the couples like stupid Singles Awareness Day. I don't know why I thought it would be a good idea to go out to the restaurant today.
Oh my God, the waiter who is like clearly trying to rush you because there's a million people waiting, but that's not my problem. I'm paying a lot of money for this overpriced dinner.
The guy outside who's with his girl and he's getting really hot because he's right by the heat lamp, and then he's like, I'm gonna turn this down. And then 3 other couples get hypothermia and die on the patio.
Yeah, that would be a bummer. Have dead people in the restaurant. The guy who gets down on one knee, but then he just is tying his shoe.
Oh, he got you. You thought it was going to be a moment. It's not a moment.
And it wasn't.
All right, guys, that's assholes at Would I Be the Asshole? Please rate, review, and subscribe. Join us on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. A lot of juice there. A lot of good eps going up. We're dropping early stuff. You know you got to get it. It's only $5 a month, or you could pay more if you want more from us. We love to see it. Thank you for supporting us. And yeah, please help make up for all the reviews, the negative reviews that I deserve to get. Anyways, awkward. Somebody called me that this weekend. Some coworker was like, awkward. I was like, no.
Oh my God, what year is it? Is it 2009?
I was like, it's been 15 years. I had a great run of unawkward. Now it's all over.
Right.
Threw it all away.
I think that's an asshole at some occasion. Like, I hate people who are like, awkward.
Awkward.
Like, well, you made it awkward by touting out your like 2009 era diss.
Yeah, shut up. It wasn't awkward. It's just it's the poetry of life is sometimes.
Now you're just prolonging the awkwardness. Like, good job.
Ooh, that sounds like your stand-up album title, Prolonging the Awkwardness.
Thanks.
Okay. Awkward.
Well, I don't know what that says about Danny's faith in my stand-up, but
no, because like you're a little awkward. I don't know what I'm saying now. Now I'm digging a hole. Fuck, I'm gonna get canceled again. Eject.
How dare you? Sarah is the smoothest, most charming person ever.
It's true. Well, I think it's harder to make jokes about you because for a while it was always single Sarah. And let me just say, in my defense, sometimes you have even made TikToks in this current day alluding to like single Sarah premises, and I'm like, but you're not single Sarah.
But I still had those experiences.
No, I know, but like you'll write it. It's like if I saw the TikTok, I'm like, but you're not single right now. But I understand that's a legal
Yeah, but I'll
move.
always use I feel like I always use the past tense.
Oh, really? Okay, maybe I'm just stupid.
Yeah, I'll say like when I would X.
Okay.
Like no one wants to be like, oh, like no one wants to hear relationship jokes. They're like, oh, what? You're happy? Fuck you. And I know because that's how I would respond.
Right. I know.
To people being like, when you're BF, nah, like,
Yeah.
fuck off. You found someone who loves you.
Yeah. That's true.
Let me joke. I'm, whatever.
No, you're allowed to play that angle all you want. Would I be the asshole for going to my friend's unwedding reception? I am so excited because I do not know what that means. My buddy.
An unwedding reception kind of sounds like just like a divorce party.
Yeah, where's this going? My buddy Kalen was supposed to get married to his ex-fiance, Kaylee.
Ugh, why would you do this to us, OP? Why would you give us these names?
Next weekend. They were together 4 to 5 years and seemed like a perfect couple in love, happy, always doing sweet things for each other. We always joked that they were relationship goals. Okay. So everyone was shocked when Kaylee called us last week, frantically asking if we knew where Kalen was. He just didn't come home from work that day. No warning, nothing. I don't know what all went down, but a couple days ago, Kaylee makes a post that the wedding is off, but there's still going to be an unwedding party reception because it's too late for her to get refunds. Immediately after, Kalen starts messaging all of us upset, asking if we're going. Apparently, he was going through something but wanted to stay together, and Kaylee broke up with him instead. Now, devastated. He's furious that we're thinking of partying when that will be just a hard day for him and he needs support. Our friends are split.
Ooh.
Way I see it, I took off time for the wedding. Our cabins are booked, and I don't know if we can get refunds. We already bought new clothes for the wedding, and we were looking forward to a romantic weekend away in the mountains. It sucks that Kalen is heartbroken, but he kind of brought it on himself. Plus, Kaylee has upgraded the cash bar to an open bar. Kaylee!
Hey, turn up!
But my other friends think that since we're his friends, we should be there for him when he's going through a hard time, even if it's his own dumbass fault. And that we'll be responsible if he harms himself while we're partying and drinking. They say we should use the time off to do something nice with him instead. AITA.
Damn, it's kind of tough because if you are primarily his friend, we don't know what he did. This is a problem. But like playing it as a mystery, I feel like if you are his friend, it's semi-crappy to go, but also I would want to go.
It's mad crappy. I mean, you got to make sure that he's got at least 3 friends with him because it's just the right thing to do. Unless he did something like...
Okay.
Just, I don't know. It's like...
What if he like cheated? Like he disappeared for days?
Even if he cheated, honestly, I just feel like it's a lot. It's a lot to throw at him.
I think you're right. Because even it's like... Yeah, I mean, even if he cheated, it's like now you're permanently... I mean, you can like intellectually side with the ex, but I feel like if you do go, you're kind of like permanently siding with her now, you know?
It's just having a sense of empathy that's going to hurt him a lot. If he's all alone that day, that's just really, really hard. I mean, I feel bad because here's the thing. I feel like, look, if he cheated, isn't he getting a sufficient punishment, which is this girl left him? I feel like having her take over the wedding, right? And isn't that also fair? Like, it was his wedding too. So, like, she kind of got the monopoly there. I mean, I guess there's questions about how it was financed, etc. But I guess I just think like, God, it's kind of cold to just leave him. And you know that if you go to her party and you're his friend, like, yeah, like you said, that's kind of it for that relationship because that's a deal breaker.
Yeah. Oof. You're right. I think if you're friends with both of them, I wouldn't want to be. I wouldn't even want to like have to choose. But if you're equally friends with both, I don't know, maybe a case could be made to go. But if you're really primarily his friend, like that's really gonna hurt, even if it is his own dumbass fault, as you say.
Right, or if the issue is that you already have the cabin or whatever, maybe if like you're a guy and you're Kaylin's friend, then you go hang with Kaylin and then tell your girl like, hey, just go and
and bring her
and then you just don't tell them.
Yeah, it's a party now. Who cares?
Yeah,
bring anybody.
exactly. Like.
It's a +1 free for all.
Yeah, that way you don't feel like you wasted all the money, but Kaylin is still with the primary friend. But you really can't just bail on your bro. I mean, unless he did something like, good Lord, criminal or something. But come on. If he cheated or whatever, he had been cheating for the last couple of years even, like, it's still, I think, particularly brutal, And I feel like he is getting punishment due, which is she's having an open bar and going to have the time of her life. I feel like that already is like...
Yeah, and everyone's rallying around her.
Yeah.
So
to like ditch him as his friend just feels like a little too brutal.
Yeah, as much as I kind of don't want to agree, I kind of just agree from just a friend to friend perspective. And I think Reddit has such a scorched earth view of people who cheat
Yeah.
that they're just like, oh no, you cheated. You don't deserve anything nice. And it's just like, that's like not fair.
I mean, the thing is too, you got to realize like, okay, so let's say you're Kaylin's friend and you go, then you're going to be with Kaylee. Well, you have no future with Kaylee, I hope, unless you're just ready to ditch.
It's true. Everyone's going to be shit talking your friend, dude, the whole time.
Exactly.
There's probably a fuck Kaylin dartboard.
Right. And then what? You're going to be friends with Kaylee now? Like that's your new future? Like I don't think so, right? Like that's weird. So it's like you're kind of going to this event predicated on the fact that Kaylin sucks. It's not right. Even though they're a cheater, I think they still deserve some loyalty. And like, yeah, I guess I can think of some corner cases. Like you said, you know them both and you're not that close, but really, everyone knows what side of the wedding they're on. I mean, give me a break.org. Like you fucking know. So
yeah, I mean, unless it's kind of like you were friends with Kaylin, you got brought in, you kind of decided you like Kaylee
yeah,
better. You realize Kaylin kind of actually sucks, but you're like, whatever, we're a friend of the couple, and now you're ready to kind of just drop Kaylin for good. Then fine, all right, go to the party.
right. But this person said my buddy Kaylin. So I think
yeah, I mean, Reddit really was against us completely. So
everyone wrote NTA, which I think you're right. I think Reddit can be very draconian, but let's get into it, see if there's any good logic here. Bozo 111. Okay, not inspiring a ton of credibility. NTA, unless he plans on paying you for whatever you paid out. See, making shit about money.
That's not how it works, because like if the wedding got canceled for other reasons or
Exactly.
like postponed for COVID, the couple has already spent all their money paying for the wedding. They don't pay, there's no onus on them to pay additional money to like recoup their guests' losses. Like it doesn't work that way on any planet, I feel
Right.
like.
It being so myopic about money, it's very like, I don't know, it's just too much for me. I'm like, okay, well, you're gonna lose some money, but like these people's lives just got exploded and they're your friends. So like,
Yeah.
come on.
Right. Like, what if they mutually decided that it wasn't working for no like malicious reason?
Yeah.
Were you gonna really hit them up and be like, look, I spent $100 or a couple $100 for the wedding? Like, you would have to be a cruel person to do
Exactly.
that. So, and it's the onus is now like also, yeah, like you said, his life just got blown up, whether it's through like whether he did something really bad or not. And
Right.
like just I think the last thing that he needs to do or is worrying about is like, making other people financially whole.
Exactly. Misbehave writes NTA, Kaylin could have come to his friends for support before vanishing on his fiance. Kaylee is a boss for having this party anyway. Wow.
I mean, we are pro Kaylee, but I guess I do feel this is a very like scorched earth kind of way to interact with people. Like, I'm going to turn my back on you because you didn't come to me before fucking up your relationship. Like, this is just not like a very adult way to deal with things, I think.
Yeah, I mean, what he did, it's, definitely mad shitty, whatever he did do. But I still feel like have a sense of humanity, have a sense of friendship. I don't know. It just feels too far for me to just like go super hard on this,
Yeah, no, I think Reddit loves to be like, oh, well, you made your bed, now lie in it. And it's just like, I don't know. I think they apply that way too broadly. It's like you did something to someone else, so now I get to treat you badly. Like, I
Exactly.
don't feel like it should work that
It's
way.
kind of like vigilante justice. It's like, look, Kaylee's going to be surrounded by all her friends. They're going to be getting wasted. Is this really make it okay for you to betray? I think it's still a betrayal. It's still a betrayal.
He's gonna view it that way, so yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's messed up. Like, I think you found a good fringe case. It's like if you're actually closer to Kaylee at this point, and it's also like, where do you see a future here? And I think for a lot of people, the answer is Kaylin is the future for them. Like, they're not going to plausibly have a relationship with Kaylee.
That's fair. I mean, I can understand. I'll say to OP, look, I understand wanting to go. I totally get it.
Nobody is with us. All I'm seeing is infos and NTAs. Nobody is saying.
Do you find out what he did?
No, but I can't find
Damn it.
a
Okay.
single dissenting comment. Nonetheless,
wow.
I'm going to have to dissent. I feel like you would be. I think so. Like, I think
Yeah.
kind of going like, well, Kalen's an asshole. Like, okay, yeah, Kalen is an asshole. He wasn't an asshole to you.
Yeah.
Would I be the asshole?
Yeah, like his asshole-ish kind of precipitated this whole chain of events, but to me, it's not really, I mean, it's not part of the verdict.
Exactly. Exactly. Would I be the asshole for going to my friend's wedding reception? I think we agree. YTA.
Kind of. Yeah, kind of, you would
This
be.
is juicy though, people. Feel free to throw in a thing on the form if you've got a differing opinion. I mean, it's very alarming when Sarah and I are going against the whole majority. Maybe there's something we're missing here. Hey.
I know, I'm like, maybe if she was 9 months pregnant and he cheated on her, Caitlyn is actually Tristan Thompson, then I would say, fuck that guy. Go to the wedding. Go to the unwedding.
There you go. All right, folks, please rate, review, and subscribe. Join us in Queens for our AITA Pod live show, 225 at 7:30 p.m. EST, bit.ly/AITA, capital Q, capital E, capital D. We're going to wrap up here on AITA for flying back to my college apartment for a job interview during the height of the COVID pandemic. Wow, we're reaching back into time, folks.
We truly are. It's a little listener submish.
It was March 2020, and I headed home for spring break, not knowing what the rest of semester held. With classes going...
Big understatement.
Right? With classes going fully online after spring break, I made the decision to stay at home and not fly back to school due to the uncertainty of pandemic. Fast forward to graduation that was canceled in May, and I was still living at home looking for a full-time employment for post-college. I was offered an interview with the company I'd interned with the previous summer, which was going to be held in the state of my school the first week of June. I made the decision to fly back to my college apartment so that I could make this interview. I decided that I should tell my roommates that I was heading back. No one had been saying anything about their plans to be at the apartment since March, until I said I was coming back in June. My roommates, 422F, I guess he's saying he has 4 roommates that are all 22F?
422 female age roommates.
Wow. We're from the area.
A 4-year-old and a 22-year-old.
I was like, what's going on? My roommates were from the area, so if you had been traveling between their hometowns and the apartment during this entire COVID spring semester with no communication, when I sent the text stating my plans to fly back, one of my roommates expressed concerns that her parents were immunocompromised and she wanted me to quarantine at a hotel instead of going to the apartment. She had never said she was also going to be at the apartment, and her reason to be at the apartment instead of home was to go to a wedding. I said that was not financially feasible for me and wondered if she had really come to the apartment as well. I stated that I would wear a mask, goggles, and a face shield on the plane, that I had literally not gone out of my house since March. I also was unable to change the date of my interview either. Fast forward to June, and I flew back to the apartment. When 2 of my roommates came back, they barely spoke to me at all, and I haven't spoken to them since moving out in August 2020. When coming back to the apartment, they attended a 300-plus in-person wedding, went out to dinner several times, and hung out at other people's apartments. AITA for flying back during a pandemic for a job interview, even though my roommate had immunocompromised parents.
So, I mean, what? Like, I guess, no, number one, I mean, I'm assuming that OP was paying rent this whole time.
Yeah.
So... yeah, okay, because if not, like, obviously you can't stay there. But, like, I guess I just don't really understand these roommates. Like, then you quarantine. Like, why do you have to see your parents in this few day span that this person is in the house?
Right, why can't you go stay at your parents?
Right. Like, yeah, like, and also just if you're concerned, like, you can avoid your parents for 2 weeks, right? Like, why can't you?
Absolutely. I feel like OP wasn't given any grace, and I will drop a money is real into the chat because, right? Like, that is a huge financial ask for a kiddo, 22F. I mean, come on. This is very tough.
Right. I don't feel like there's a very compelling reason for this person to be like, well, I need to see my parents and also stay at this apartment. Like, I just don't understand.
It feels like they were like, oh, well, it's our apartment now. OP's gone. No, you can't come back. And it's like, yes, they can. Like, ideally,
yeah, if they're paying rent, they can. They can do what they want.
Also, March 2020 was like the very beginning of the pandemic, right?
Yes.
I mean, I just feel like it feels like really the roommates offered no grace, no lenience, like, and then one of them kind of like, what's the word I want? Like poison the well for OP. And then OP came into all this hostility and like, look, I feel like OP, you did what you had to do. This is a job. It's important. COVID was not a great time to not have a job for all reasons. Maybe one just being to...
that company's the asshole. I'm like, you mean to tell me it's the middle of the pandemic and you can't do a Zoom interview?
Yeah, that actually is weird. Maybe it was in a red state or something. They didn't give a shit.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm also like, I don't think you really have a huge leg to stand on for OP's one flight when you're going to a 300-person person wedding, which wouldn't have been legal. I mean, in New York State, it wouldn't have been allowed at this point, but maybe they're in like Texas or
I
whatever.
just feel like, yeah, for them, I really do think this was a case of OP's gone. Isn't this great that we got the whole apartment? Like, no, you can't get me an apartment.
I think
really
you're
feel like
right.
that's all this was,
I think
OP.
you're right. They were like, what excuse can we try to
Yep.
use so that we don't have to have another roommate right
And then
now?
they poisoned the well, talk shit about you to the other roommates, tried to paint a picture, played the victim. Oh, my parents. And it's like they did nothing to try to help you, nothing to
Right.
understand your situation, which I think was very challenging. And for all these reasons, I suspect we agree. AITA for flying back to my college apartment for a job interview during the height of the COVID pandemic. I'm assuming you're not painting a picture, and I think we agree. NTA and the roommate is.
Seems like it.
Put some heart there, roommate. Come on. Go back to your parents' house.
I mean, also, you quarantine.
Yes.
Like, I don't understand.
You can live 2 weeks without your parents. You're absolutely right. That's a great solution, Sarah.
Yeah, whatever. I don't get it.
I mean, I guess there are 5 people in one house, so I kind of understand why they were like, no, don't come back. But like, please.
That I do get, but you signed the lease that way. So
Yep.
you wanted to live in a frat house, so you get to now.
You made your bed, now sleep in it. Me making
Boom.
my bed. Yes, yes, yes. Me sleeping in it. No, not my bed. This is a rip of a tweet we love.
I was gonna say, is that a tweet?
The tweet is me reaping. Yay, I love reaping. Fuck yeah.
Oh,
Me
yeah.
sowing. No, fuck this. I hate my life or whatever.
That's very funny.
All right, I'm a hack and a joke thief. Cancel me for that too. But anyway, love you guys. Thanks for everything. And we'll see you next Monday morning. Bye.